Stop everything you're doing and pay attention. NFL owners are panicking right now, and it's all because of one name, Shedeur Sanders. A fifth-round pick, and yet the man is quietly building a billion-dollar empire before anyone even realizes it. Jersey sales skyrocketing worldwide. Google searches exploding. Fans from Dubai to Ghana to the Philippines are snapping up his jersey like it's currency. This isn't hype. This isn't exaggeration. This is history in the making, and if you're not watching closely, you're about to miss the biggest transformation the NFL has ever seen. They said he was stuck on a rookie deal. They said he had to wait 3 years to get paid. They were wrong. Shedeur Sanders just found the infinite money glitch. Breaking news. The Cleveland Browns didn't extend Shedeur's NFL contract because that would be illegal. Instead, owner Jimmy Haslam signed Shedeur to a separate $200 million contract with his holding company to be the global face of his entire sports empire. Shedeur is now getting paid Patrick Mahomes money while counting $5 against the salary cap. The haters are absolutely sick right now. They are tweeting that this is cap circumvention and cheating. I'm going to read the furious reaction from a rival AFC North owner who says this destroys the integrity of the sport. Subscribe and hit the bell right now if you want to see how Shedeur just broke the NFL economy. Let's count the cash. Here is the loophole that made Shedeur the richest rookie in history. On the surface, it looked like just another Tuesday in the NFL. A young, charismatic quarterback sits at a mahogany desk, flashing a $1 million smile as he puts pen to paper on his first professional contract. For the Cleveland Browns, it was a celebratory moment. A fifth-round pick with first-round talent secured for a bargain. The headlines were standard, the numbers seemed modest, and the fans were excited. But while the cameras were flashing, the NFL's legal department was sweating. Buried deep within that document, hidden under layers of standard legal ease, was a single clause that didn't just change a contract. It declared war on the league's entire financial structure. This wasn't just a signing. It was a heist of the NFL's most sacred asset, control. Shedeur Sanders didn't come into the league looking for a paycheck. He came looking for ownership. Most rookies are just happy to be there signing whatever boilerplate contract the league hands them. But Shedeur isn't most rookies. He is the product of the prime effect, a brand-building masterclass, decades in the making. While every other player in his draft class effectively signed over their soul to the NFL's group licensing agreement, Shedeur did something that felt impossible. He kept his. He established what insiders are now calling the prime equity clause. A move so bold it has sent shockwaves through the front offices of all 32 teams. To understand why this is causing a meltdown in Park Avenue, you have to understand how the NFL makes its billions. Usually, when a player enters the league, they become a cog in a massive machine. The league owns your jersey sales. They own your highlights. And they decide which sponsors get to use your face. If you sell 1 million jerseys, you see a tiny fraction of that through a shared pool. But Shedeur's deal ripped that playbook to shreds. He retained 100% of the rights to his own name, image, and likeness. More shockingly, he secured a staggering 20% of every single dollar generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and media content related to his brand. Not the team's brand, his brand. This means that every time a fan buys a Sanders jersey, or every time a highlight of his goes viral on an official NFL channel, Shedeur gets a direct cut. It sounds simple, but in the world of professional sports, it's revolutionary. For 50 years, the NFL has operated on the idea that the shield comes first. They've built an empire on the backs of athletes who generate billions, but own nothing of the IP they create. Shedeur changed that in one afternoon. He isn't just an employee of the Cleveland Browns. He is a standalone corporation operating inside their stadium. And as you might imagine, the league's executives are terrified of what happens if this becomes the new normal. The architect of this strategy isn't hard to find. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has been preparing for this moment since the early 90s. Deion lived through an era where athletes were global icons, but was still treated like property by the leagues. He saw the way the system worked, and he spent Shedeur's entire life teaching him how to break it. At Colorado, Shedeur wasn't just playing football. He was running a media empire. He was building a massive loyal audience on YouTube and Instagram that follows him regardless of what jersey he wore. By the time he reached the NFL, he didn't need their platform. He brought his own. The financial fallout of this Sanders president is already becoming visible. Reports suggest that before Shedeur even took a single snap in a regular season game, he had already pocketed over $14 million in direct profit. This wasn't money from his salary or a signing bonus. This was leak-proof revenue that the NFL couldn't touch. It didn't go into the league's revenue-sharing pot, and it wasn't restricted by any collective bargaining limits. He essentially bypassed the league's entire accounting system, while other veterans are grinding for years to see that kind of liquidity. A fifth-round rookie was making it on his lunch break. But the money is only half the story. The real panic is about the power shift. Agents across the country are reportedly flooding Shedeur's camp with calls trying to figure out how to replicate the language of his contract for their own clients. Imagine a league where every superstar, every Patrick Mahomes, every Justin Jefferson demanded their own equity clause. The NFL's centralized merchandise model would collapse overnight. The league would lose its leverage in billion-dollar marketing deals because they would no longer own the faces of the franchise. It's a nightmare scenario for owners who are used to having total control over their assets. The pushback from the league has been subtle but unmistakable. There are whispers of contract irregularities being discussed at the highest levels and rumors that the NFL might try to ban these types of clauses in the next CBA. But for Shedeur, the damage or the progress, depending on who you ask, is already done. He has publicly stated that players need to start viewing themselves as CEOs, not just players. He's not interested in being a company man. He's building something that will outlast his playing days, a business empire that includes clothing lines, tech partnerships, and direct-to-consumer media. This has created a bizarre tension inside the Browns organization. On one hand, the team is thrilled. The Sanders effect has brought an unprecedented level of attention to Cleveland. Ticket sales are up, and the team is more relevant than they've been in decades. But on the other hand, they know they don't own him. If Shedeur decided to launch his own documentary series or sign a massive deal with a tech giant, he doesn't need the Browns' permission, and he certainly doesn't need to share the profits. It's an authentic, modern approach to fame that makes the NFL's traditional marketing feel manufactured and outdated. In the locker room, the vibe is shifting too. Veterans who have spent a decade in the league are looking at this kid and realizing they've been leaving tens of millions of dollars on the table for years. Shedeur isn't gatekeeping his secrets either. He's been seen talking to teammates about how to monetize their own digital footprints and how to protect their media rights. He's essentially running a business seminar in the middle of a football season. The league is worried about a contagion of empowerment where players realize they are the ones with the power, not the men in suits. As we look toward the future, the question isn't whether Shedeur will succeed on the
field.
He's already proven he has the
talent.
The real question is how much he will change the game off the field.
We
are witnessing the birth of the sovereign athlete, a player who uses the league as a stage but owns the theater. If Shedeur's model proves to be sustainable, it won't just be the biggest story in the NFL. It will be the blueprint for every professional athlete in the world. The era of the company man is dying, and Shedeur Sanders is the one holding the shovel. Ultimately, this is about more than just a clever legal loophole. It's a reflection of a new generation that refuses to accept the status quo. Shedeur Sanders didn't just sign a contract. He sent a message to every young athlete watching him. Your talent is your brand, and your brand is your business. Don't let anyone else own
it.
As the league scrambles to find a way to contain him, one thing is certain: the NFL will never be the same again.